Hey, E, got a sec?
Sure thing, Kathy. What's up?
Any ideas about what happened to my grandfather in '81?
Beats me. Maybe he found what he was looking for. Or it found him.
Did you just quote a tagline from one of those cheesy horror novels?
Maybe.
I wonder what was so special about Lily Myers. Well, besides her being a talented artist who drowned herself in a lake.
I bet there's some secret about her art. Let's hope Charles Wade has some answers.
So, what's your take on this Charles Wade?
I'm not sure. He sounded like a super nice guy on that tape, but media says that he's a ruthless businessman.
The tape is over 2 decades old. Maybe he's changed.
Either that or he is very different in his private life. Hard to know without actually seeing him.
What do you think of this cocky person?
Well, the nickname makes me think of, boy parts.
And you call yourself a Christian. What do you think of Lily Myers' art?
I actually looked her up this morning, and I couldn't find any records of her being recognized as an artist.
Yeah, I doubt there was ever a chance for that to happen. Wade bought everything shortly after she died. I only got a chance to see this one picture. Wasn't all that bad, but nothing breathtaking.
Well, maybe there's more to her art than meets the eye. Something Wade knew, and we're missing.
Yeah, maybe. What's your opinion on the Church of the Holy Trinity?
They seem like an okay bunch to me. Just your regular old Christians, my kind of crowd.
That's just it. They seem a bit too normal. And there's that logo, too.
It could just be a coincidence, Kathy. The Holy Trinity is typically portrayed as a triangle.
I don't believe in coincidences, E. I believe in action and reaction.
Gee, you sound like a starship captain. Captain Rain of the USS Dignity, here to save the galaxy.
Oh, please, kill me now. So what am I supposed to do with this?
I don't know. I thought it might help you find the place where that picture was taken.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. No point. I showed it. Dave really came through for me. The software on this thing is amazing.
Yeah, he's a real whiz.
I don't need to show. I found this old picture of Grandpa at my grandparents' place.
That's nice. He looks really happy there.
Yep. I wonder what made him leave the Air Force.
He was in a war, you know? That kind of thing tends to scar people for life.
I suppose. Trust me, I've tried. E is the epitome of purity. No tobacco, no fast food, no alcohol. She basically rejects everything awesome. Look what I got last week, E.
Wow, is that thing even, legal?
I have no idea.
Sometimes I really worry about you, Kathy.
Well, your days of worrying are over. We're protected by 100,000 volts now.
Oh, brother.
I don't need to show her that. I should get back to the investigation.
Okie dokie.
I'm no geek, but I know how to use one. All right, I'm off. Peace out, E.
Okie dokie. Good luck and see you later.
Well, this is it. This is where the picture was taken. I'm not sure what I expected to find here. I need to clear my head. What the?
We've met before, haven't we?
I doubt it. You look like you just escaped from a circus. That's not really my kind of gig.
Yet you always play the part of the clown, Kathy.
Who are you? How do you know my name?
You told me, remember?
I feel strange. Am I dreaming?
It's the mending I will try to facilitate.
You're not real. I'm lying asleep in my bed right now.
Focus, Kathy. Listen to the drowned girl.
You mean Lily? What about her?
She's the anomaly, the missing refrain, the convergence point of things past and events yet to happen.
Dial down the metaphors a notch, would you, Mr. Kafka? I get enough of that shit in English class.
I knew you wouldn't disappoint. I'm glad, given how much trouble I went through to be here. You see, my name was taken from me, so I claimed a color in its stead. The next time we meet, you'll know the exact hue of red. You're on the right path, Kathy. Follow your grandfather, and everything will work out in the end.
Wait, what? How did I get here? Am I going crazy? Am I turning into Mom?
Oh, hello, dear. Glad to see you again so soon.
Hi, Grandma. I just thought I'd drop by.
Sure, hon. Stay as long as you'd like.
Mind if we talk for a bit, Grandma?
Not at all, dear. What's up?
I don't see a reason to ask. Do you know anything about this flower, Grandma?
I can't say that I do. I remember seeing it growing in the woods, but I didn't think much of it at the time.
What do you see in this picture, Grandma?
I have no idea, but it's quite an eerie display. What is it?
I'm trying to figure that out. I found the picture hidden in the attic.
Oh, come to think of it, the trees do look similar to the ones in Conwell Woods.
Yeah, it was taken somewhere in that area. I found out that the flower in the picture matches a rare local species.
Aren't you clever? Do let me know if you come across anything else.
Bye, Grandma. I'll be back later.
So long.
Yep, it's full of trash. Figure that. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. It's that homeless guy who helped me distract Lenny. We meet again, Mr. Homeless Guy.
Homeless? That's the worst thing I ever heard of, and totally untrue.
So, what's up with the trash can? Digging for treasure?
Well, I'm just going through a rough patch. By the way, you owe me $10.
Nah, you agreed to 7.
You're busting my balls here.
Better get those balls checked out in this clinic then.
So cold. Like a stake through the heart.
What do they call you anyway?
Goober. Everyone calls me Goober.
All right, I'm Kathy.
Pleasure to meet you.
So, what's your story anyway?
My story?
Yeah, don't all bums have a story?
For your information, this is all just a dry streak in my showbiz career.
Is that so? I don't recognize you at all.
I used to have more hair.
That I actually believe.
Come on, man. Frankie Gold is my stage name. Surely you must have heard of me.
Not really, no.
Oh, come on. I have starred in dozens of Hollywood movies. The Silence of the Lambert, Jacob's Bladder, The Usual Surprises, Natural Bald Killers.
Not ringing any bells.
Kids these days, no appreciation for quality cinema. Breaks my heart.
So, tell me about this acting career of yours.
What about it?
Tell me about The Silence of Lambert.
Lawrence Lambert, a real estate agent, suddenly turns mute overnight. For weeks, he tries to communicate with customers using a self-invented sign language, only to realize that true love needs no communication at all. He marries his housekeeper, who only knows 2 words in English, yes and clean. In the end, Lawrence dies of a heart attack in the arms of his lovely wife, Consuelo Lambert Vasquez. Based on a true story.
I'm not sure I want to know what Jacob's Bladder is about, but I'm gonna ask anyway.
Jacob's Bladder. The tragic story of Jacob Cobb, a schizophrenic man who forms an imaginary romantic relationship with his bladder. During long and joyful monologues on the can, he starts referring to his nether regions by the name of Jenny. Sadly, before Jacob has a chance to elope with his sweetheart, he gets committed to an asylum due to increasingly erratic behavior. After a big fight with his paramour, Jacob refuses to pee for a week, and he dies from a ruptured bladder.
Give me the rundown on The Usual Surprises.
A lighthearted comedy taking place during the surprise birthday party of 34-year-old Sid McBacon. The story is told from 8 different perspectives to keep the audience guessing who the protagonist actually is. The movie ends with the biggest surprise of them all. Sid suddenly dies of an epileptic seizure. I guess it's more of a dark comedy.
Natural Bald Killers?
It's a dystopian vision of the future where people are valued by the quality of their hair. The protagonist, Eddie Zephyr, turns bald in high school. One day, he has simply had enough of all the teasing and the bullying, and he completely snaps and heads out on a scalping spree in search of the perfect head of hair. Eddie makes his way to Mexico for an illegal hair transplant. However, he has an adverse reaction to the anesthesia and he dies on the operating table.
Why do you always die at the end of your movies?
Typecasting.
Oh, never mind.
Not the cultured type. I understand.
I need to ask you a few questions.
Sounds serious. Ask away.
Do you know what happened to Joseph Rain in '81?
I most certainly do.
What? Tell me.
Are you sure you want to know? Not everyone can handle the truth.
Oh, just spit it out.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Abducted by aliens.
I should have known better.
Oh, I saw it, man. A big, huge light. I was a bit drunk at the time, but I had my reasons. My wife had just left me, taken the dog, not to mention I was being conscripted for the war. But I'm telling you, those goddamn aliens took him and they experimented on him. And that's why he was so messed up when they put him back.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop you there.
Open your mind, man.
Do you know who Lily Myers was?
Yep, my dad was the one who found her floating in the lake.
Really? What can you tell me about her?
Ah, geez, not a lot. I mean, teenage girls, man, they're like their own species. Impossible to figure out. Not to mention how that entire family ain't, like, people-friendly.
Now that's an understatement. Nearly started brawling with Sue the first time I met her.
She could sure deal out a mean whooping, that lady.
Do you know who Charles Wade is?
Sure, he's been holed up in this clinic for the last couple of weeks.
You saw Charles Wade go in there?
Well, yeah, I just told you, man.
How did he look?
Okay, I guess. Still walking, at least.
Do you recognize the nickname Cocky?
Why, I used to call myself that back in Nam. Oh, how I miss that marvelous youthful ego of mine.
Why do I even bother? What do you know about Lily Meyer's art?
Nothing but hearsay. People say it was pretty deranged.
What's your opinion on the Church of the Holy Trinity?
I'd say they're good people. Isaac the priest is, anyway. His dad, Father Bill, on the other hand, though, he and the people he had around him were into some weird shit.
What kind of weird shit?
I don't know, they were like a cult or something, with Billy Praise himself at the top. Really shifty bunch of folks. Isaac turned it all around when his dad kicked the bucket, made it a proper church.
Interesting. Do you know anyone else who was involved in the old church?
Not really. I tried to stay as far away from those people as possible. Ask Isaac about it. He's a friendly guy.
All right. I might do that. Want to smoke, buddy?
Nah, I got stage 2 lung cancer. I'm keeping it under control with a fruitarian diet.
I could, but only if I had a really good reason. Do you recognize these men?
That's your granddad, right?
Yeah. What about the other two?
No idea. I think my face blindness is acting up again.
Okay. Do you know what this key opens?
Your heart, mademoiselle?
Oh, brother. Okay, that's enough serious questions for now.
Alrighty.
Okay, I'm off.
Bye.
No thanks. Women's magazines make my brain melt. Was expecting plastic, but this looks like a real plant. Smoking allowed. Guess this place is a bit behind on healthcare regulations. I prefer to smoke out. A calendar from 1991. Guess they really liked that year. A computer. They likely keep records of their patients on it. No point. I wouldn't even know what room to go to. She looks bored out of her mind. Pretty Excuse me, nurse? Hey, nurse!
Yeah?
They don't pay you much, huh?
No shit. What do you want?
I'm here to see Charles Wade.
Never heard of him. Anything else?
Bullshit. I know he's here. Listen, it's okay. I'm a friend of the family.
No, you're not, and I said he's not here. Don't make me call security.
What a bitch. I need to get rid of her somehow. I can't read it from here. Rows and columns of files. Probably easier to use the computer if I need to do some digging. The only thing my deadbeat dad left me. That action doesn't seem I wish, but she'd just call security on me. Pretty sure she would object. Again? No thanks. I'm gonna have to think outside the... Was expecting plastic. Hello? Creepy bald guy. Guess no one's home. That wasn't here before. What's this? A bald man dressed in red. Oh, creepy. It's a photocopy of a book page with information about the... Here's an interesting segment. Another interesting trait of the red scythe is the smell, which is familiar to that of a pepper. The pollen of the plant has also been known to cause hallucinations in concentrated amounts. Native American tribes harvested and smoked the plant for that reason, but the flower never caught on as a modern recreational drug due to the difficulty of growing it. Looks like a specimen of the red scythe. It's endangered. I'm not going to take it without a really good reason. Yep, it's definitely the right flower. Why did someone leave this at the nature reserve? Ugh, I feel strange just looking at them. Hello, Father.
Greetings, my child. I'm glad you decided to come here.
Yeah, but just so you know, I'm not here to join your church or anything.
Oh, I would never assume that.
Good. So, with that out of the way, I have some questions.
Anything you need. I'm Isaac Price.
Kathy Rain, but I'm guessing you figured that out already.
I did. Rumors spread quickly around here. So how can I be of service?
Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather in '81?
It was the work of the devil, I'll say that much. Joseph was a kind man. He did not deserve such a fate. You heard my speech at the funeral, Kathy. I meant every word. He was a great man who did much good for this community.
Did you know him personally?
In a way. He and my father did charity work together. Joseph was around a lot when I was young. They collaborated on a few different projects for the homeless and for the troubled youth, among other things.
So my grandfather was a member of the church?
I wouldn't say that, no. He was a friend of the church, but he wasn't a religious man. He believed only in philanthropy. That being said, Joseph was the person who convinced me to become a priest.
Really?
Oh yes, I was a teenager back then, full of rebellion, every fiber of my being wanting to distance myself from my father. Joseph made me realize my sinful pride and showed me how I should follow my heart regardless of what others might think. And for that, I'm eternally grateful.
I don't need to show him that. Does the name Lily Myers mean anything to you?
It does. I was a substitute teacher in her high school for some time before I was ordained.
Really? Did you know her personally?
We weren't close. I only knew her as much as a teacher would know any student.
All right, so how did she seem toward the end?
For one, she started skipping school a lot, and when she did show up, she was absent-minded and moody. She always looked depressed and hunched down like she had a whole world on her shoulders.
Any idea of what caused this change?
Not a clue. All I know is that when she returned from that last summer break, she was a whole different person.
Do you recognize the men in this picture, Isaac?
Only your grandfather, and that's just because I was given a similar picture for the...
What's your opinion on Charles Wade?
No opinion. He used to be a prominent figure around here, but he doesn't appear much in town these days.
Actually, he's in the community clinic right now, getting medical treatment.
Oh, I wonder if it's serious. Perhaps I should go talk to him. Even men like Charles Wade need a priest when they're nearing the end of the line.
Do you know anyone?
I have no idea. Sorry.
Do you know anything about Lily Myers' art?
I saw a few pieces. Gorgeous work. Vibrant, surreal landscapes.
When was this?
Must have been mid-70s. The high school had open days with an art exhibition.
So, this was some time before she changed, right? You didn't see any of her later work?
No. By then, she started skipping art class completely from what I heard.
Maybe she was afraid of what she might draw. I hear it was pretty twisted.
Could be, but alas, I suppose we'll never know what was truly haunting her.
I'm doing my best to find out. I don't believe the story to be as clear-cut as everyone makes it out to be.
An unusual theory. How so?
People have taken a particular interest in her art. I think there's more to it.
I wouldn't read too much into it, my child. It happens to all dead artists with any talent to speak of.
Care to tell me the history of the church?
I'd be happy to. The story is a fascinating one. This church was founded by my father, William T. Price, in the 70s. Back then, he made his living as a traveling salesman and was driving through this area as he'd done so many times before. However, this day was different. My father held dark thoughts in his mind. He was angry, thinking of evil deeds, even considering swerving off the road into a rock and ending it all. Then suddenly, divine intervention. 3 bright lights appeared. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, the sign of God. This epiphany was the moment my father had been waiting for. He sold all of his belongings and took me and my brother to live with him here in Conwell Springs. Soon thereafter, he built this church and started gathering followers. They began to refer to him as Father Bill.
I take it that window up there resembles what he saw when he had this epiphany?
Indeed. The stained glass window depicts the Holy Trinity as witnessed by my father.
Do you know exactly when or where this event took place?
Why do you ask?
Oh, just curious. It's a captivating story.
Well, it was in the spring of 1971, but my father never told anyone where.
Okay, so what happened then?
People flocked to Father Bill. He started teaching, writing scripture. The church flourished and continued to grow all the way up until his sudden death in 1983. That's when I stepped in to take leadership of the church.
I take it that the church started declining after the death of Father Bill?
Yes, naturally so. With such a magnetic personality, he was irreplaceable. But I assure you the church is still very much thriving.
Looks kinda empty to me.
It's not really our peak hours.
What's up with you handing out pamphlets at funerals then? Trying to reel people in at a weak moment?
I'm going to assume you meant no disrespect, child. I'm simply providing divine guidance when it's needed the most.
Do you know what this key opens?
I'm afraid not, my child.
I sincerely doubt it will come to that. I don't need to show him that. Father, do you know anything about this flower?
No, my child. Nothing at all.
I could, but I think I have more to gain from a subtle strategy. I'll keep it to myself for now, until I know more about this church. I don't I don't need... That's all I need for now, Father.
May the Lord shine his light on you.
It's an altar. You know, the place where they put the sacrificed goats, kids, and other crap. A bunch of red Bibles stacked in neat rows. I really shouldn't. They might burn. Impressive window. There's no doubt about it. Those are the smoky lights. Could lead to a sacristy or a closet of some kind. Locked. Nope, not the... Locked. Nope, not the right key.
Oh, it's you again. Come on in.
No Nathan today?
Nah, haven't seen Nate all day. Probably out in the woods.
Looks like Nathan knows the strange red man. I need to talk to him about this. Is this how Nathan still sees himself? As a little boy? That must be Lily. She seems very happy looking up at the red man. A bald man dressed in... I had a few more questions, Sue.
Shoot.
I don't need to ask her. Do you know who the red man is?
Oh, that's just Nate's imaginary friend. The red man has been around ever since my boy was little.
I see. So there's no actual person in town he could be referring to?
No way! According to Nathan, the red man hasn't changed in 30 years.
The red man actually exists. I met him in the forest.
What? That's crazy talk. Stop kidding around. I am not in the mood.
Do you know who...
Oh, that...
Sounds like he has quite an active imagination then.
Oh, you have no idea. He has unique names for each of the kitchen utensils. Nuff said.
I think I'm gonna head off now.
Sure thing, little cat. Come back anytime.
I don't want to zap that. It's the Catmobile, my custom chopper bike. Plenty of gas in the tank. She was born a '76 Corley Motors, but there aren't many original parts left. Took me a couple of years to make her perfect.
Lanny, I need you to do something.
How can I help, boss?
It's my mother's birthday this weekend. You'll have to get her a gift.
No wanted poster. I don't see how those things work together. Too heavy to carry around. Hello, Sheriff. Mind if I ask you a few more questions?
If you must.
I don't need to ask him. I don't need to. Do you know anything about a weird bald guy dressed in red around here?
What the hell are you talking about?
Never mind. I probably I don't want to show him. He's new in town. I don't want. Do you know what this is?
Ah, it's just some kids playing pranks with flashlights.
Do you recognize this flower?
Matter of fact, I do. It's a local endangered plant with mild narcotic properties.
Yeah? Have you come across any users in the area?
Sure, but it's a bit tricky to do anything about it. Using it as a substance is technically illegal.
Ah, so the illegal part is picking it in the first place.
Yes, knowingly picking the flower is a crime, according to the Endangered Species Act of 1973.
Gotcha, thanks. That's all for now.
Good.
Hey, Lenny.
Hello, Kathy. What's...
I don't need... Nah. Do you know anything about a weird bald guy dressed in red around here?
You're joking, right?
Oh, never mind. Hey, Lenny, do you recognize this flower?
Yeah, I accidentally inhaled pollen from one of them when I was a kid. I remember being sick and delirious for days.
Scary. Where did you come across this flower?
Somewhere in Conwell Woods. Not sure where exactly.
All right. Do you know what this is?
I have no idea. Looks creepy, whatever it is. Where did you get it?
Grandpa had it hidden away in the attic.
Probably for a good reason, then. Be careful out there.
I don't want to Well, gotta go.
See ya!
Oh, hello, dear.
Mind if we talk for a bit, Grandma?
Not at all, dear. What's up?
I don't see a reason to ask her about... Bye, Grandma.
So long.
No result for that. Nah, nothing like that. Nah, nothing. Nope, couldn't. I got that number. I got her. No result.
IT, this is Clyde speaking. How can I help you?
So, I hear you and Dave had some kind of fight?
That's really none of your business.
Never mind.
Suit yourself.
Wait, residents?
Hi.
Hello again.
I don't need to ask. Okay.
Very well, feel free.
Cute red horse. This paint looks fresh. No reason. Hey, doofus.
Oh, hi!
So, how good an actor are you?
The best! The very best!
You know, that nurse in there, she said she loved you in all those movies, and that she always wished you'd give her a live performance.
I knew it! She always gave me these strange looks. I thought it was contempt, but her face must just be cramping up from shyness.
Yeah, that's definitely it. She'd love to see you act, I'm sure.
I'm gonna have to oblige. Which movie do you think she'd like the best?
Definitely Jacob's bladder.
I'm feeling the pressure. Oh, Jenny, everything is forgiven. You and me were like peas and
Rows
carrots.
and columns of...
I'm just so
Pretty
full
sure she would
of
object.
your love that I think I'm about to burst.
Again?
Jenny, where did you go? Oh, I don't feel so good. Thank you, thank you. You've been a great audience.
I don't want to interrupt. That wasn't really an electrifying performance. Hey, doof.
Oh, hi.
Hey.
Sure. Any suggestion?
Natural bald killers would be the obvious choice.
Bald move. Fernando, you've been such a good friend. I can't thank you enough for making me whole again. turn their scalp into a breathtaking golden carpet, such as the world has never seen. Okay,
Good
doctor,
idea, but
I'm
it
counting
wouldn't
down
match
now.
his symptoms.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Thank you, thank you. You've been a great audience.
I wish, but... Hey, Doofus.
Oh, hi.
So,
What about it?
tell me about...
Lawrence Lambert, a real estate agent, suddenly turns mute over. For weeks, he tries to communicate with customers using a self-invented sign language. He marries his housekeeper, who only... In the end, Lawrence dies based on a true...
Oh.
Not the code.
Hey, how about another show?
Sure.
Probably...
Oh, I'm gonna be loud. Al Consuelo, how I wish I could speak. I have so many things left to say. My
Good
chest,
idea,
no!
but...
It can't be. Hold me.
Good idea,
Thank you, thank you. You've been
Good
a great
idea, but-
audience.
Hey, Doofus.
Oh, hi.
Hey,
Sure.
how about...
Business. I can't believe you guys did all this for me. You know, what's that smell? Bacon? Oh, Bobby, my head hurts. Ah!
Nurse, he's seizing!
Oh shit!
Man, I feel like a total jackass. I'll have to make it up to the poor guy later. Rose and Col... Employee of the Month, Carlita Mendez. Ugh, what a joke. It's that obnoxious nurse. Employee of the Month, Employee of the Month. Employee of the Month, Carlita Mendez. Ugh, what? A calendar from 1991. Smoking allowed. Was expecting plastic, but no thanks. Nah, I don't see any reason to break this computer.
It's all right, Claude.
Understood, sir.
So, you managed to find me.
I did.
Well, let's get this over with then. How do you want your pictures? Shall I get some tubes to fill my face with? Will that suffice for your front page?
I'm no journalist. Well, not yet anyway.
Ah, she's but a cub. So, you're hoping for your big break. Surely this must be worth an internship at one of the big papers. Do you want me to call Thompson at the Times and get it over with? I still play golf with him every once in a while.
You're assuming a lot, Mr. Wade.
Guilty as charged. It's a stance I find remarkably effective for a man with little time and a tendency to be correct.
You might want to rethink that attitude. I have a history of surprising people.
Is that so? Very well, I'll indulge you for now. Who are you then?
I'm Kathy Rain. Joseph was my grandfather.
Now I remember. You were at the funeral.
I was.
You were late.
I needed my morning smoke. Besides, it's not like Grandpa was going anywhere.
Oh, just look at her, Claude. She's absolutely fearless. That's Joseph's blood running through her veins.
She certainly has a smart mouth, sir.
I must say, you have me intrigued, Kathy. What can this old man help you with?
Do you recognize the call sign Cocky?
Would be strange if I didn't, since I was the one who coined it. It belongs to a fellow named Jimmy Cochran. He was a coward, really. The nickname is somewhat of a bad joke.
Perfect. Thanks. You bought a number of paintings by Lily Myers. Why?
I'm known to dabble in art from time to time. Martha, my wife at the time, was enamored with the paintings. I believe she first saw them at the high school which the Myers girl attended. Anyway, after the poor girl killed herself, I bought the paintings speculatively. When a young artist with any talent to speak of commits suicide, it can be a wet dream of certain connoisseurs. Shortly after procuring the art, I had it valued by an expert who determined that the value was 3 times the amount I bought it for. Today, I'm sure I would have made my money back tenfold or more if it wasn't for the art theft.
What art theft?
There was a burglary at the mansion I used to own here in town. It was all over the local news at the time.
Well, shit.
Eloquently put.
Tell me about Jimmy Cochran. Is he still alive?
In a literal sense. He's been held in a mental institution for years.
Let me guess. Since 81?
Either 82 or 83. I'm fairly certain it was early 83.
Do you remember the name of the institution?
Something starting with an E. Jamison, Everton, or similar.
Ingstrom? Ingstrom Psychiatric Hospital?
Yes, that's the one. You know the place, Kathy.
I do. My mother is in there. Sharon Evans? I had her committed about a year ago.
I see. It must have taken a lot of courage to do that, Kathy. Mothers have a lot of power over us, more than most of us care to admit.
I guess so. Do you know why Jimmy ended up in there?
Some obsessive-compulsive syndrome. He became fixated with circles and started hurting himself, trying to scratch the circles out of his head.
Creepy. I wonder what set him off. I think I'll check the place out tomorrow. Too late to head back to the city now. What do you see in this picture, Charles?
Fireflies would be my best guess. They can grow terribly large around these parts.
Do you know what this is?
A flower. Why don't you consult a botanist instead of bothering me with this nonsense?
Do you recognize this, Charles?
Of course. Your grandfather, me, Jimmy Cochran, taken shortly before we went to the war.
You guys look like you just won the lottery or something.
Indeed. We were mere children, with no concept of what we were getting into.
I don't need to Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather in '81?
I wish I did, Kathy. You must know I did everything in my power to help. How do you think Mary Elizabeth could afford all that expensive treatment? MRIs, neurologists, say what you will about Joseph. But he was never rich.
Strange. Grandma never mentioned that to me.
She's just too proud. At first she refused. She was convinced that I had an agenda, that there were strings attached.
And were there?
Don't be silly. Despite all that had happened, I still loved Joseph dearly. I wanted to help. People from places like this have a deeply rooted mistrust in the rich, passed on for generations. In her eyes, I had become one of them.
So that's all you know about the whole affair?
Are you implying that there's more to know? I left the diagnosis to the professionals. Mrs. Rain accepted the health care, but asked me to stay out of everything else. So I did.
I see. What can you tell me about your friendship with Grandpa?
Joseph was the best friend I ever had. We grew up together, married our high school sweethearts together, went to war together. I can't even begin to count the number of times he's saved my life. I repaid the favor once or twice, but he came up ahead, no doubt.
So when did you two lose touch? I heard that something happened between you and him. What was it?
The truth is, Brian Rain happened. Sharon Evans happened.
My parents?
Yes. They ruined everything with their vile, destructive behavior. I couldn't have that around my daughter or my newborn grandson. Joseph was naive. He believed that anyone could be helped, that anyone could be reasoned with, given a chance. He was just too good, bless him. He should have been harder on Brian, more strict. So our family started drifting apart. Eventually my company grew much too large for this little town, and we moved on. Not long after that, your grandfather ended up in that wheelchair. That marked the end of our friendship, for obvious reasons.
Can you tell me about the art theft?
Well, somebody broke in, stole the paintings, and got out. Fairly clumsy job. Lots of broken windows. The strangest thing was that I had a Monet, a Rembrandt, and 2 paintings by Picasso, untouched. But every single painting by an unknown local artist, gone.
That can't be a coincidence.
Agreed. Somebody wanted those paintings badly.
I assume there was an investigation.
Yes, Sheriff Truman came by with his deputy a few hours later, but they didn't have much luck. They found a few hairs, which turned out to be from Ruffles, the family dog.
Some stunning police work right there.
Indeed. There was a single witness, though, who said he could make out multiple burglars leaving the scene of the crime, but nothing more than that.
So, I take it the case was closed?
Yes. I honestly didn't care much one way or the other, given the fact that my most expensive pieces were safe and sound.
I think I'll have a chat with the sheriff about the matter, if that's okay with you.
Certainly. I'll call ahead and instruct him to give you everything you need.
That'd be great. Thanks, Charles.
Anytime. But I'm curious, what's your interest in the paintings?
I've learned that my grandfather went to Sue and asked to see them, right before he had his injury.
Is that so? Strange.
What can you tell me about the Church of the Holy Trinity?
They seem like any other church to me. But then again, I'm not their usual clientele. Weddings, baptisms, and funerals are just about what I can muster. And I always leave early.
I don't need to ask him about that. I don't need to show. Thanks, Charles. That's all I need for now.
You're welcome, Kathy. Come back anytime.
A private phone. Wade must get special privileges here. Looks like Wade brought some of his old tombs with him. Just some boring landscape. Just some boring... That guy is huge. I wonder how many... I'd rather not. He'd crush me like a twig. I don't need to... Hello, Sheriff. Mind if I ask you a few more questions?
If you must.
Do you know anything about the art theft in the Wade estate?
Yes, Mr. Wade phoned ahead about that. Lenny!
Yes, boss?
Get the report from the burglary in the Wade estate back in '86?
On it, boss. There you go, Kathy.
Thanks, buddy. I gotta find this Goldfarb guy. Maybe he knows more about the burglary. Hello, Sheriff. Mind if I ask you a few more questions?
If you...
Do you know who Jim...
Nope.
Does the name Franklin Goldfarb mean anything to you?
Never heard of him. Anything else?
I'll hang on to it for now. That's all for now.
Good.
Hey, Lenny.
Hello, Kath.
Nah, I don't. Do you know who
Not really.
Does the name
Sounds familiar, but
I'll hang on to it. Well, gotta go.
See ya.
No Goldfarb in here. Maybe he moved? I should ask around and see if anyone knows him. Nope, couldn't find. Oh! Mind if we talk for a bit, Grandma?
Not at all, dear.
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is? He was a friend of Grandpa's.
I believe he teaches at the flight school these days.
I don't think so, at least not anymore. I was told he was placed in a mental facility.
Really? He always struck me as a kind man, maybe a bit nervous and on edge, but not crazy.
There's more. I found out that Jimmy asked Grandpa for help not long before Grandpa ended up in that wheelchair. Jimmy sounded really desperate. I'm sure what happened to Grandpa that night had something to do with his cry for help.
You should go find the man then. Surely he must know something.
That's the plan. I just wondered if there's anything else you think I should know about him.
Not really. We haven't stayed in touch since Joseph was injured. I know that he had a wife, Agatha, and a son, James. Agatha passed away from cancer years ago, but as far as I know, James still lives in the city with his family.
Okay, thanks, Grandma. I don't see a reason. Does the name Franklin Goldfarb mean anything to you?
Oh, that poor man. He used to be an upstanding citizen, you know. Now he's constantly drinking and keeps babbling on about that imaginary acting career of his.
Sad thing. Do you know where I can find him?
He's homeless, dear. Lost his job a few years ago and never really got back on his feet.
Okay, now I know who you're talking about. Thanks, Grandma. Looks like I'm gonna have to have a chat with Goober. I don't want to show. Bye, Grandma. I'll be back.
So long.